Hi, here is Miss Marion. If you were not here today, we did actually get a workbook, and then we did put our name on the first page. We put in Team Loki, your first and last name, and then the class period. All of Unit 1 colorization for 6, 7, and 8 is this green looking one. So make sure you put your name, Team Loki, and then the class period because it comes back to me. Because we only have one workbook per person. So make sure you do that. So when you come back, make sure you go ahead and get a workbook from me. So today we're going to be talking about translations, and so there is a note page in the Canvas page that I have where you actually found this video. And so if you need the notes, you can go ahead and download that, or you make sure you have the notes because we're going to be filling those in. All right, so you should have received this page in class. If you're watching this through Canvas, it is linked inside the Canvas module and the Canvas page for translation day 1. So these are the notes that we're going to actually follow. So first of all, let's go ahead and let's fill in our I can statement. So our I can statement is I can apply a transformation to point on a grid by using trace paper. And I'm going to go ahead and I will explain what trace paper is in a second, so you should have that written down. As far as using trace paper, go ahead and transfer a point or picture on a grid. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some words themselves. So I'm going to zoom in here. And let's talk about transformation. A transformation means a change. So it means to change from one thing to another. Today we're going to talk about translation, which is considered a slide. Later we're going to talk about reflection, which is a flip. Rotation, which is a turn. And dilation, which is a zoom in or zoom out. So again, today we're going to be talking about a translation. Also, there's some vocabulary that we need to know. So an image is a figure that is obtained after a transformation. So remember, we're doing a transformation is some type of change or movement of the original object. So the image is pretty much the end result of the information itself. So again, we have our image. Okay, so that is one thing that we're going to be looking at. So today we're going to talk about translation or slide. Okay, so we're talking about translation or slide. Pre-image is the picture before it gets moved. Congruent means to have the same, exactly same shape and size. Similar has the same shape but different size. And then prime is a way of indicating something has been moved. So the designation for the image shown with this little kind of mark is considered a prime mark. Okay, so all of this is on your page that we have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill in some notes. So this is on the other side, and I'm going to kind of bring this in just a tiny bit so we can see what's going on. And we're going to fill in the blanks. It says a translation is a transformation or change. Transformation. It's kind of like Transformers. In which a figure does not turn. And every point of the figure moves the same distance and the same direction. And then the image is congruent with the figure, with the original figure. And then there are two ways to tell a translation. One way are the words, which means to move the figure 2 units right and then down 4 units, or there's also a transformation notation. which is this x comma y. We're going to take the x and we're going to do plus 2, which is, if you think about it, it's to the right 2. And then y minus 4, y is up and down. So if it's minus 4, it would be down 4. So these are all the vocabulary words that kind of go with translation. And remember, a transformation is a way of changing something. And the way that we're going to do it is through a translation, which is considered a slide. So let's go down and let's look at example number 1. Here we have example number 1. And it says, tell whether the blue figure is a translation of the red. So this didn't copy off. This one's the blue. I'm going to put blue by it. And this one is the red. Okay, so here's our blue, here's our red. And so is it going to be a transformation or a translation? So is it going to? So the way that we're going to do it is we're going to have this is what is called trace paper. Kind of looks like a waxy kind of paper. And why is it called trace paper? Oh, we are going to trace it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, grab my pencil, and I'm going to trace this figure. Okay, and then we want to see if it's going to be the same as the red. So is it the same as the red? Yes, it is. So notice that the red figure slides to form the blue figure. So notice how I took this figure and I slid it to make it the same. So we're sliding. That's a translation, is to slide. All right, so let's look at this one again. Okay, so this one is the red. Here is our blue. Okay, again, I'm going to trace this. And can I take this rectangle and can I slide it to be the same? So I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. So can I slide this rectangle to be like this? It is not. So the red figure turns to make this one. So is it a translation? No, it's not. It turns. All right. Also looking at translation of a figure, notice how we have like this triangle here. And I can take it and I can copy it and I can move it 3 units to the right and 3 units down. So I'm going to try that myself. Let's take trace paper and I'm going to move it 3 units to the right, 2, 3, and then we're going to move it down. Notice how these 2 pictures. Now if we look at this picture, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, notice how this point is A prime. Notice how this is B prime. And notice how this one is C prime. So if we look at it, the way that we go ahead and notice how we go from A to A prime. Notice how we go from B to B prime. Notice how we go from C to C prime. So it's kind of like the Transformer Optimus Prime. At first, he is a semi-truck. Right, sorry, at first he's a semi-truck, and then he transforms into being Optimus Prime. So I think of it as we have our semi-truck, then he'll transform to become Optimus Prime. So our end result is that prime that we're looking at. So again, a translation is a slide. Okay, so we're going to slide stuff. Let's turn to the back side. And we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to look at these. And we're going to look at the different pictures. And we're going to see if these are translations. So tell if this one here, so this is our red and our blue, right? So I'm going to take my trace paper and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace it. All right, and can I slide it over? Well, let's make this a little bit bigger so we can look at it. And can I slide it over to make this blue one? So is this a translation? No. That's what we're looking at. It says, tell whether the blue figure is a translation of the red figure. All right, let's try number 2. So let's look at it for a second. So is the blue a translation of the red? Well, we're going to take our trace paper. We are going to trace it. Can I slide this to make it like this? So I'm going to slide it down. So does it slide anywhere to make it the same? So is this a translation? No. What about number 3? So we have this triangle. So we're going to take this triangle. Can I take this triangle? Can I slide it to make it the other triangle? Yeah, it is. So is this a translation? Yes. What about number 4? So go ahead and try number 4 for a second. So see if you can trace it. If you don't have any trace paper, you can go ahead and just use our normal piece of paper and trace it, and then move it and see that does actually work. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go look at that. We're going to say, okay, I have this one. Can I trace it to come over here? So let's trace it. Oh yeah, that is actually a translation. So number 4 is yes. What about number 5? Let's trace that one also. So can I take, and can I slide it over to make this one? Or even if I trace that one and slide it over, is number 5 translation? No. Okay. All right, so let's look at the lightning bolt. Is the lightning bolt going to look like this one? Let's slide it over. No. Okay. What about number 7? Can I trace that? Can I move it over to make it this one? Or even I trace that one, can I make it over this one? Okay, are they the same? Can I slide it back and forth? Absolutely. So 7 is yes. Yes. Okay. What about 8? Can we slide it over? Ooh, yeah. Okay, so 8 is yes. And what about 9? Can I slide this one over? 9, right? It's not. So even if I trace this big one, can I slide it over to make it the smaller one? Nope. So this is a no. So let's go ahead and let's look at number 12. Okay, actually let's start with number 10. So number 10, we're going to take this and we're going to translate 4 units right and 3 units down. So I'm going to take my trace paper. I'm going to get a new one because I used a lot of that. All right, I'm going to take my trace paper and I'm going to trace it. And I'm going to do 4 units right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do 3 units, notice how I need to, so let's try it one more time. I move that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 units down, 1, 2, 3. And then this will actually be my new part. One thing I forgot is I needed to label my points. Here's J, here's L, and here is K. And those are these points here. So try it one more time. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 units down, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw this on here. So here was my J, and so instead of still calling it J, we're going to call it J prime. What about K? Here is K prime. And then what about L? Here is L prime. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that. So that is my new image of this triangle after it's been moved 4 units right, 3 units down. Let's try number 11. So again, we're going to go ahead, we're going to trace this figure. So here is A, point B, point C, and point D. And then I'm going to move that 2 units to the left, 4 units down. So I'm going to go ahead, go 2 units left, 1, 2, 4 units down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice how I'm kind of looking at the grid behind it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm leave those points. And so instead of being A, it's going to be A prime because that's the end result. Here is B, that is B prime because it's the end result. Over here is C prime, again that's the end result. And then way down here, if you can see it, that is D, but it's going to be D prime because I have moved this picture to make it look something like this. So that's 11. Let's go ahead and look at 12. So we need to go ahead and we need to plot these points. Remember, the first one is side to side, comma, up and down. So the first point is -4, comma 1. We're going to start at 0, comma 0. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, comma 1. We're going to go up 1. This is A. And then we're going to do side to side, -3. So 1, 2, 3. And then +4. So 1, 2, 3. +4 is up and down, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our B prime. And then C is -1, comma 2. So start at 0, comma 0, -1, +2. Here's C prime. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy these together, or draw them together to make our triangle. And then we're going to do 3 units down, 5 units to the right. So again, I'm going to take my trace paper. We are going to trace that. Okay, and I need, oops, you know what? I realized something. These are not primes. I haven't moved them yet. That is my bad. Notice how this is the original one. So, because A, B, B, C, C. So I'm actually going to trace that, and I'm going to label it as A, B, and C. Again, what are we doing with this? We're doing 3 units down, 5 units right. 3 units down, 1, 2, 3. So notice how I'm looking at the grid behind it. 5 units right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how I don't turn my paper. I keep it the same. So B is actually right there. So this will be B prime. A is, okay, right there. This is A prime. And C is right here. And then again, I'm going to connect them together. And there is my new image or end result with the prime A prime, B prime, and C prime. All right, last one. So again, we need to plot those points, -3, comma 3. So start it here, side to side, -3, that would be left, 1, 2, 3, up 3, 1, 2, 3. Here is my F. Not F prime, but F. U is -1, comma 4. So we're going to go -1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is U. And then N is -2, comma -1. So 1, 2, -1, that's down 1. And then this is N. So notice here is my triangle. Now this is the scientific note, this is transformation notation. So notice how it's +6. Remember, X is always side to side. So if you think about it, if I'm side to side +6, that would make it right 6. If I have Y is up and down, and it's -3, that's going to make it down 3. So I'm going to take that triangle. So again, I'm going to take my trace paper. Label it F, U, and N. Then again, I'm going to move it right 6, down 3. So right 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then down 3. And again, notice how I'm looking at the grid behind it. So 1, 2, 3. Notice how I didn't turn my page. So F prime is going to be here. U prime is going to be here. And N prime is way down here. So here is our N prime. Okay, and then this is our new image or end result of our picture that we moved it right 6 units and down 3 units. So what I need you to do is take this page, fold it hamburger style, and then I need you to tape it on page 6. But I need you to tape it so you can actually like open it up and look at it and see it, because you're going to use these notes. Actually, you can use your workbook on your unit test. So that's why we're taping this stuff in there, because it has those notes that we've gone through. So again, tape it in on page 6 for me, please. All right, so for the rest of today, we're going to go ahead and do translation day 2, check for understanding. It's actually day 1. Sorry about that. Let's change that. So it's actually day 1, check for understanding. It is actually in Canvas. So I did put a page on the Canvas page that you can actually go ahead and print out and go and do. And then it is also on Canvas. So all your answers, all your prime points are going to go ahead and go into Canvas. So that is what we're doing for the rest of the day. So hope you have a good day. Bye.